Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. I'm John Dickerson. Donald Trump joins us by phone from New York. Mr. Trump, I want to start with you. The immigration plan you put forward this week, it got a lot of coverage, a lot of conversation from your rivals. The biggest criticism of that plan is that it will be so expensive. It's not just the wall, which you say you want Mexico to pay for, but it's also the job of deporting 11 to 12 million people. How are you going to pay for the whole thing?
Well, John, right now we're spending $130 billion a year, and that's a very low number by comparison to what it really is. We're having tremendous trouble. You know, when you look at Ferguson and you look at St. Louis like the other night and you look at, let's say, Baltimore and Chicago, the gangs, you know, many of these gang members are illegal and they're tough dudes. They'll be out of there so fast your head will spin. Those numbers aren't calculated in the $130 billion. We're a nation of laws. We have to do what we have to do. And actually, it'll be a lot less expensive to do it properly. And you know the good people are going to be expedited to come back. But you have to do this, John. We're a nation based on laws, and we're based on borders. We don't have a border. We don't have laws. People are walking in past these really fantastic Border Patrol. You know, we have Border Patrol people that are fantastic. They can do their job, but they're told not to. And people are walking into the country right past these people, and they're told to stand back. It's absolutely disgraceful.
I want to ask you, you say the good people will be expedited. Who are the good people?
Well, the people that have done a good job, they've been here a long time, they've worked hard, they have recommendations from people, and we're going to get wonderful people coming back into this country. And I'm not only talking about from that standpoint, you know, we're building a wall, and it's going to be a great wall, okay? And by the way, Mexico will pay for it. It's going to be a great wall because I know how to build. And it's not going to cost nearly as much as what they're saying for a crummy wall, but this will be a wall with a very big, very beautiful door because we want the legals to come back into the country. We also want people of talent to come into the country. We want people to go to our colleges. You know, you go to Harvard, you go to Wharton, you go to Stanford, and you're immediately thrown out as soon as you're finished getting a degree. You can be number one in your class at Princeton and be thrown out of the country. And you're forced to go to work in China, where you want to be in this. You want to be in our country. I will have that changed and change quickly. We want people of talent.
Let me ask you about the good people. So they're here now, undocumented now. They will leave the country, and then you'd have them come back through that beautiful door. Isn't that rewarding people who jumped the line in the first place?
Well, you could say that, but we have a lot of good people that have been here. They've done a good job. It's a tough situation, but they've lived here sometimes for 10, 15, 20 years, and in some cases they haven't been good people, and there have been problems. And we know. Now, I will say this. Our country doesn't even know how many people we have in it. We have no idea how many illegals are here. I've heard the number for 5 years and longer of 11 million people. Every once in a while you'll hear 30. We have no idea, John. They're coming in. They're pouring in. We have no idea how many people are here. But we have to get them back. We have to get them back where they came from. And the good ones, we will expedite. We will work on it, and we will expedite. And you know what it's called? It's called management. Right now we have political hacks running the system. We have people that have no clue how to manage things. With good management, we can do this very, very well.
Let me ask you a question about your campaign. You've talked a lot about how no one owns you. You're paying for it yourself. If you got into the general election where Democrats are maybe going to spend upwards of $1 billion. Are you going to foot the bill for that, too?
I think what would happen is I don't want lobbyists. Look, I know the people that want something. I've been doing this all my life. I've been a very big contributor to many, many people on all sides for many, many years. I don't want lobbyists. I don't want special interests, but certainly people. We have a lot of money coming in. A woman sends in $7.23 the other day. It was cute. She writes this beautiful little letter. That's what she had. But we have a lot of small contributors. I would even take big contributors as long as they don't expect anything, because the only people that can expect something from me is going to be the people that want to see our country be great again. Those are the only people. So certainly I would take I actually like the idea of investing in a campaign, but it has to be no strings attached. I don't want any strings attached. You know, these lobbyists come in. I turned down $5 million last week from a very important lobbyist, because there are total strings attached to a thing like that. He's going to come to me in a year or 2 years, and he's going to want something for a country that he represents or for a company that he represents. That's the kind of money I won't take.
Let me ask you about a constituency that may have be interested in you. You told Time magazine, you said, I have hedge fund guys that are making a lot of money that aren't paying anything. Would you change that, and how would you do it?
I would change it. They're paying nothing, and it's ridiculous. I want to save the middle class. You know, the middle class, the hedge funds guys didn't build this country. These are guys that shift paper around, and they get lucky. And by the way, when the market collapses like it is now, the market's going down, they're losing a fortune. Half of them, look, they're energetic, they're very smart, but a lot of them, it's like they're paper pushers. They make a fortune, they pay no tax. It's ridiculous, okay? And some of them are friends of mine. Some of them I couldn't care less about. It's the wrong thing. The hedge fund guys are getting away with murder. They're making a tremendous amount of money. They have to pay tax. I want to lower the rates for the middle class. The middle class is the one they're getting absolutely destroyed. This country won't have a middle class very soon.
I want to ask you about this question about your conservatism. There's been some people who wondered what you are, and Jeb Bush has basically spent the week saying you're not a conservative. So prove him wrong.
Well, you know, you could say that about Ronald Reagan, because Ronald Reagan was a Democrat with a very, very liberal lean. And he actually became a Republican who was fairly conservative. I wouldn't say he was the most conservative, but fairly. And he talked about he evolved as he got older. And I have also. And don't forget, when you label me, I was never a politician. So it never really mattered what people called me. It didn't make any difference. Also, I was in Manhattan, where everybody is Democrat. If you get the Democratic nomination for a city council or anything, that means you won the election, even though the election hasn't taken place. It was like automatic. So, I was from an area that was all Democrat. And frankly, over the years, and especially as I've gotten more and more involved, I have evolved, and I have taken positions that are different than the past, and I feel strongly about them. But I've also taken the position of common sense. When I look at what's happening to our country is going down. We're going down, John. And I'm going to make this country great again. I'm going to do the right thing for the country.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you out on the campaign trail, Mr. Trump. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, John.